Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to my Zone 9B garden here in Houston, Texas. And today we're going to have a little garden work day and try to plant some beans. So I don't know how long it'll be because I got to go pick my kid up later. But here we go. I'm planning to plant some edamame, which I've never planted before, I don't think. Also some fortex beans, some pole beans, which I planted last year. And also these red noodle pole beans, which I planted last year as well. And they were really cool. They were like a foot long. It was really neat. And if I have time today, I'll plant some chives and perla as well. Behind me, you can see my pea and bean bed for this year, and maybe some birds. And I follow a rotating schedule that is advised by Dr. Rob Randall here in Houston because our climate is so weird compared to most parts of the country. So that's what this is based on. Although I have 5 beds, and I do a little bit extra in the extra bed. But here's my pea bed here. So right now, as you can see, I've got some snow peas, which some are pretty late to harvest. Just pick these while I'm here. I haven't been out here in a few days, I guess. Let's see, this one's very fat. I think the ones that are too advanced like this, I will just use as regular peas. Make some kind of put them in some fried rice probably. Let's see what else I've got over here. Yeah, really let a lot of these go too long, but that's okay. Oops, pick that up. I don't know if it's safe for the birds. Kind of hard to do this with one hand. All right, I'm gonna go get a bag and come pick the rest of these. All right, I'm back outside. They're a lot more ready to be harvested than I expected. I don't know that I've ever grown snow peas before this year, although I've enjoyed eating them, and I'm really happy with them because I just get so much from them. I had to do almost nothing. You can kind of see I didn't really plant my trellis high enough. I mean, it's kind of a make do situation. Zucchini really flopped over. And you want to harvest these when they're not quite, I don't think they should be quite as fat as this, but you do want the peas inside to be somewhat plumped up, but you want the skin to still be quite soft. So like you wouldn't want to harvest this one, it's too small. This one, it could be, the peas could be developed more because these snow peas, you eat just the whole kernel, not just part of it. Like you don't take the peas out usually. Okay, so I think you can see most of what I'm about to do here. Like I said, I'm going to plant these beans. And in this bed, I'm going to plant the Vortex beans. And the edamame. So the edamame are bush beans, which means they don't really need a pole. They just kind of sit like a bush, ideally. And so I'll plant those here in the front area, which I did have some others planted, but like the chickens just went crazy on those. And then I'm going to plant these Vortex pole beans back there. I didn't have great success with them last year in terms of production, but I think it was the bed they were in and my care or lack thereof. So I'm going to try that. But I'm not going to tear the snow peas out first. I'm going to leave them there. And then these pole beans, I'm going to try to make a little planting area behind the coop because the birds really like to eat the foliage of these. And I mean, it might not be good for these plants, but it might be okay. It depends on the growth rate and stuff. And also, these really, I know that these need a taller trellis than that. So side of the run can serve that purpose. All right, so let's go. And I'm gonna plant these a bit thickly because, like I said, I don't know what these birds are gonna do. So in case they eat some or dig up some of the seeds, I want to have extra. So here's what the pole beans look like here. They look like something you might buy at the store, of course, because you can buy beans there. Um, they're kind of a very dark brown, almost maroon kind of color. I dropped a couple, but that's okay. This packet of seeds is from last year, so I guess I won't keep it for too much longer, even if I don't use them all. All right. It's a bit tricky. I don't want to step in my bed and like compact the soil, but kind of do need to get on it a bit. All right, so there's a hole, one hole, another hole, and a third hole. One, kind of got some mulch in the way there. Two, three, and again, these holes are about an inch deep each. Over here, just plant a couple here because um, no pea is still growing pretty well there. So, all right, and like I said, this is you normally wouldn't want to plant them this close together, perhaps. I don't know. What does it say on the pack? Oh, 3 inches apart. Okay, yeah. This is fine. Yeah. And it says inoculants can increase yield. I don't know. I just don't have any inoculants. Basically, I always forget about them until I'm already planting my peas. And then it's too late. I don't want to wait. My peas or beans. But inoculants are basically like a bacteria or fungus that lives in the soil and is usually they're ones that have like evolved with the particular plant. So when they're there, they encourage it to grow well by means I don't really understand, but I'm happy about. I don't have any optimism here because I know this is a chick's favorite place to play around, but whatever. I'll plant a few anyway. But yeah, I always think like, oh man, I need to buy inoculants, but then I'm also a bit too cheap because like I don't have infinite resources and I already spend. This is like my main home. This is my hobby. This is where I spend my money. I don't really buy clothes. I buy garden stuff because it makes me happy. It gives us good food, good exercise, good mental health for me. Getting out here and making things grow. Passion flower is just a curse. I mean, it's beautiful, but I never realized how it would spread. And I'm going to pull out these peas because they're basically, totally done due to the birds. It's okay. If I cared about them, I should have treated them better. I got a few peas off of them. Like, look what those guys did. So funny. All right. So I'm all done with my pole beans. I'll water those in later. And I've got to plant my. Got to figure this one out. Throw those in the compost at the end a bit. Some other weeds. All right. But back to what I was saying. I am done with the Vortex pole beans, and now I'm on to edamame, and it says plant them 2 to 4 inches apart, 1 inch deep, then them to 4 inches. So I'm just going to plant them all over the place because, like I said, I'm sure the chickens will get some. I might end up putting some kind of barrier up at some point. Um, so, yeah. And it does say on here to plant the beans 2 or 3 different times, about 20 days apart for continuous harvest. And we're going to be gone for part of the summer, so I don't know. I think I'm going to just plant a bunch now, and I'll decide later if I want to plant more. So you see, these are totally different. It's amazing how different peas and beans can be from one another. All right, so I guess I'm not really paying attention to how I'm planting these. I'm just planting them wherever. Um, I'll just be surprised later when they come up here and there. I don't think I planted enough of the beans I planted before either. I mean, not that many came up. I must have planted like 20, and I think like 8 came up. Maybe I didn't do a good job. Maybe animals got them. I mean, there's plenty of critters around here, even right almost in the middle of Houston, which is a huge city, but we're not the only ones who live here. What is this? Big piece of mulch. All right. Let's see. I don't even remember if I put some here or not, but I just kind of want to finish the ones that are in my hand. I'll just put this back in the packet. All right, so there we go. Got this little bed planted again. All right, the next thing I'm going to plant is these pole beans, but I don't really have the place ready yet, so I'm going to do that if I have time. I'm going to go check the clock. At least I have time to start making the bed. So I'll show you where I'm planning to do that. So like I said, this trellis isn't really tall enough. I mean, it's not really even tall enough for snow peas, much less these these red noodle beans. So I'm going to plant them here because I've got this tall area here. And this is the south side, so it'll hopefully provide a little shade too. And what I need to do, I guess, is mow down this plant matter here on the side. And then I think I'm going to get a plank. I'm going to get like a plank, a board of some kind. And I got some good dirt earlier at the local feed and feed. And I'm going to plant these beans in it, hopefully. And I think I'm going to then have to cover it up with some chicken wire or something, because I know those guys are going to go crazy on it, messing around just because it's dirt, and they like to nap around over here, although usually under there, and usually not right in that spot, but nearby. So I don't know. All right, so I'm going to check the time and get my soil and so on. All right, I'm back. I've got my lawnmower, some soil, a hat, and my HEB sparkling water. Not sponsored. I'm just a Texan, more or less. So let's get to work building this little bed area. Rugby ball for some reason. Move these out of the way. Adjust my mower to its lowest setting, which I rarely use. All right, I got that area mowed. Found some screws from when I was building this thing a couple months ago. I don't know if there's any more down here. It was chaotic and abruptly cut off before I'd quite gotten as far as I wanted, because I got quite ill. But I don't see any more. All right, I got my dirt here. Now, this might not be the perfect way to make a raised bed, or it's kind of a raised bed. It's not really going to be like super formally raised, but I'm doing my best. Normally, like when I made the raised beds that are the other 5 main beds of the garden, I did have bulk soil and mulch or bulk soil and compost delivered, and that was awesome. But I just can't do that all the time. It's a bit expensive. I mean, it's cheap per amount you get, but like it's an amount that I'm paying at one time. You know, I got a kid in daycare, etc. So I got some bags at the feed store earlier after dropping my kid off at the daycare, and I'm gonna spread this just along here. So I mean, ideally, I would have like prepared this area in advance, tried to kill off a bunch of stuff, maybe with cardboard ahead of time, and let that compost and so on. But my gardening philosophy is do the best you can with the time and resources you have. I mean, time being a resource. So, you know, I just realized there's something I need to put on this coop before. I actually just realized there's something I need to put on the side of this coop before I do this. So I'm actually going to go get that board and my drill and put that on here. Yeah, this is supposed to go on here. It's kind of that situation where like I knew that the birds could live in here without it on there, and I just didn't have time to deal with it. Now I see there's something else I need to do over there before I screw it on over there, but I'll just not screw it over there and deal with that later. Right? That's how we do things, right? Yeah, this should be fine. And this will kind of serve as like the reason I remembered this is I was about to put a board here to hold the dirt in on that side, and then I was like, oh wait, there's supposed to be a board here already. So get my battery from my lawnmower. Pop it in here. All right. I don't think I have to screw this too seriously. Make sure that's the right positioning. Hope I'm not blocking your view there. Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. 3 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago, I couldn't even use a drill. And my neighbor, Mark, over there, taught me how. And now I'm pretty good at it. I built this whole thing. I built a fence back there, um, replacing our fence a bit at a bit over there, a bit at a time, that is. Yeah, I got these all painted. They've just been sitting out here the whole time. Oh, that'd be better lower down. Better push it down. Whatever. Whatever. Put it back. Put one over here. I mean, this will also keep animals from prying under here. I mean, I'm not super worried about it. I've got a skirt here on this part. That's what I got to add over there, a skirt. But the skirt is when it's like extending out from here. So like, so that animals can't, if an animal tries to dig right here, it won't be able to get anywhere. Try to get in and get the chickens. Ooh. Wind, hair, and drills don't mix. Okay, it's well enough attached. Let's put that dirt down there. So this dirt is from Farm Dirt. I haven't actually used it before, but I've heard good things. It's, I believe, a local Houston-based soil company. So supporting sustainable agricultural products in Houston's inner city. So yeah, compost, fine mortar sand, whatever that is, topsoil, aerated compost tea. And this is a farm dirt garden soil. It's supposed to be great for your vegetables, fruits, flowers, trees, shrubs, and so on. I'm not going to bother fertilizing it. For one thing, I'm planting beans here. I guess beans, yeah, I don't really understand. I guess I need to read more about it, but it's not like a tomato or whatever. You just need tons of nitrogen because they help bring nitrogen into the soil. So, oh, hi. What am I doing with your area? I'm going to put this in a line along here. I know, what's going on? This is weird. They're like, what's the crazy lady doing now? Figure it out later. All right. I've got another bag if I need it. I'm not trying to make a real deeper wide bed here. I mean, I think this soil is not like that loose under it. So I don't know if these particular vegetables will be able to go down, but like if they want to put their roots down. But I guess over time things will work their way down there. And yeah, it's just beans. I know, a bit rude of me to say to the beans, but that's how I feel about them. Not really one of my favorite things to grow aside from the snow peas, but they do come up so quickly usually. That is a fun part. Okay, I think I will just go ahead and put the other bag here. I think it'll be more fun that way. Oh, it's pretty heavy. This is 1 cubic foot. I think it was like $12 or $14 a cubic foot. These birds are very interested in what's going on here. I think before I put the rest on, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put up something on the other side. The board, hold it in. These are some leftover fence panels from when I built the fence in the back, and they're just like kind of super dried out now, so I don't really want to use them for that. So this is as good of use as any. I guess I only need one. Find some more scrap over there. All right, I got some boards here. The paint will be fine. It's the same paint I was using on the coupe. It's like the lowest VOC exterior latex paint I could find. So a slightly prettier one over here. Not this is going to win a beauty contest. Hopefully it'll be so overrun with beautiful plants that no one will notice if they ever look. Totally missed. I guess the two will be enough over here. All right, so there we got it. Finished putting that soil in. So yeah, that'll be a few inches deep. Look at the beautiful black soil. All right. I mean, it'll settle, so if it's a bit high, it's okay. All right, spread it all out. Wow, that's awesome. I did not expect to have a whole new garden bed, even a small one, today. I mean, I kind of hope to, maybe, but I have a lot of work to do this morning. I'm at my regular work, and yeah, wasn't sure how much I get done during this midday period. Smells good too. All right, so that's done. I'm gonna go check the time, put my tools away, and then maybe we'll plant some seeds here in a moment. All right, well, I've got 20 minutes, so I gotta get my younger child from daycare. And so I do think I have enough time to plant these red noodle pole beans here, and hopefully cover them up with something at least temporarily, so these guys do not totally get into them. And then hopefully later I'll also plant some flower seeds along here. I gotta look up which one. I have plenty of flower seeds. I gotta look up which ones would be best to plant now and around chickens. So yeah, let's do it. These are red noodle seeds, red noodle beans. They it says that you should plant them 1 inch deep, about 4 feet apart. around basic poles or 3 inches apart in a row with a trellis. So that's what we're doing here. Let's see. I'll plant them. These guys are so curious. They're like, what is going on? Are there any bugs here? All right. I'll plant these over here. Just gonna make holes about 3 inches apart. I'll bring you over here to see. So right now I'm making these holes about 1 inch apart. I mean, about 3 inches apart, about an inch deep. And again, like I'm sure some of these will get eaten by critters of one sort or another. Or, you know, some of them might not come up at all. So it's fine to plant a lot. I do like this. These beans are also like, it's interesting. They're kind of sweet. I don't really think of beans as sweet. I don't know. They had a kind of a sweet flavor to them. I mean, I guess I think of snow peas as sweet, but I don't think of things called beans as being sweet in themselves. No, that's really silly because I know there's like bean paste in South Korea. There's sugar in it though, but anyway, it's sweet. But all right, so I got this holes dug. Now I'm going to plant these. You see there, small brown beans. But when you eat them, you eat like the whole pod. And you, I mean, at least so far I've cut them up. They're kind of long, but it's neat because like really just a few of them make so much like to add to a stir fry or whatever. So let's cover those up lightly. Got a few extra here. I'll just toss them wherever. I don't want to put them back in. They might have gotten wet or something. All right, so what a productive day. We have planted 3 kinds of beans today. We built a whole new bed and we spent some glorious time outside in the sunshine, getting a little bit of body movement in. And now I'm happy. Well, I was already pretty happy, but I'm extra happy now. Thanks for joining me today in my Zone 9B garden here in Houston, Texas. I hope you'll join me again. I'm Sarah. Have a great day. Bye.